Hello, I am back with another video. It is Livid Boot Madden, and I am gonna help you if you want to create a franchise fantasy league. So a fantasy league is where you draft all the players, but most of these tips will just be for Madden 22, not 23. So if you are not getting 23, this will be a very helpful video for you. Okay, so the first tip for your fantasy draft is to pick the Eagles, because if you like to trade away your picks, you have 3 of them. If you like to draft with the auto-generated rookies, you still have 3 picks. So it's very helpful. So if you are creating the league, or if your friend does, or something, and the Eagles are available, I would highly suggest you pick them, because 3 picks is the most amount of picks you can get as the teams are right now. So for rounds 1, 2, 3, and sometimes 4, I would suggest trying to get a quarterback if you get an early pick. If not, try to get some good, young, high overall players. But if you have like a late pick in the 4th round, or usually maybe even a late pick in the 5th or an early pick in the 6th round, I would pick Tom Brady. I know he is 44 years old, but later in the video, I will show you why he is such a good pick. Okay, Raheem Mostert, I don't know what it is with his Madden card, but that 96 speed is crazy. In this, I got him in, the 9th round, but that was because there were friends. You can usually pick him in the 15th round, maybe the 20th. He's a beast, and look at these stats, like 96 speed, 95 acceleration. I'll show you some clips of what this man can do. He is such a good starting running back for such a low overall. And you can pick him in the 20th round, usually. So usually for Raheem Mostert, I would suggest you try to run it through the middle and then cut to the outside. Because when you do that, he gets so many yards and then always cut to the sideline. Here, this sort of shows you what you should do, this clip, and you just cut to the outside, and you can easily usually get 10 to 15 yards, maybe 5 if you get unlucky, but always do that. You can always get so many extra yards. Next player, right, Quez Watkins. This is probably one of my favorite gems in a fantasy draft. Usually I get him around the 20th round. My friends have said they've got him later, and I've sometimes picked him even earlier, but he's a 75 overall. But these stats, like, look at them. 98 speed, 94 acceleration, 87 catching. He's gonna always burn someone on like a Hail Mary or a seam route. If he's in single coverage, he's a beast. I think he's the 2nd fastest wide receiver in Madden behind Tyreek Hill. So I would highly suggest picking Quez Watkins, because I am sure he will help your team out. Those are most of my players to pick, but you know how you pick Tom Brady? Yeah. You can get a 24-year-old X-Factor cornerback, Jerry Alexander. If I were you, though, I would look at teams that he's yellow on, because when you're in the trade menu, I'll show you what the yellow looks like. And you want it to look like that. You're never going to find green, because he is too old for that, but you will find yellow a lot of the time. When you find one of those teams, I would suggest that you look and see if they have players that would be like the value of a quarterback. Not that good of a quarterback, and think of an old quarterback. So a 95 for Tom Brady, Jerry Alexander gets picked in the 1st round. So if you can get Jerry Alexander, that's the most I've gone to so far. But you can add maybe a couple 91s or something like that and see what you can get. Okay, this next tip I think is super helpful for me, because most of my leagues I play in are always all Madden or all pro maybe. But if you're playing in a league like that, Get Justin Tucker. I just got him for a 4th, 5th, 6th. You can probably get him for a 3rd. Then you gotta switch his superstar ability to the one that it slows down the kick meter. You'll be making every single kick. Like, nothing will be stopping you from making every extra point and field goals. Okay, so another tip for trading, I would say, is try to trade for older people. Because as you see right here, I got Levante David, and then right after that, I got Lane Johnson and Grady Jarrett, and a 2nd round pick. So usually when you trade for old people, you see the stars. So right now, if I go back to getting Levante David, he had a 2-star. Sometimes you can even find 1-stars with like Bobby Wagner, Levante David, Chandler Jones. These older players usually have the 1-star, which means that the team doesn't want them. But then when you trade them, they can have a 3 to a 5-star for some teams, which means you can get what you had back plus a lot of extra things to help you grow your team. Okay, so my last trading tip would be this. I would not recommend doing this in all leagues because it is very annoying to people. But if you're losing, you need a better team, and there's AIs in this league, go do this. I mean, if you need it, you can do it. So, as you see, Marquise Brown is an 84 wide receiver right now, because that's what he is. But then when you try to trade for like a 92 like Marlon Humphrey, it's nowhere near. But let's say you really want Marlon Humphrey, or like you really need him because he's crucial to your team. You need him because you don't have a cornerback or something. All you have to do is make them a running back. So now, Marquise Brown is a 93 running back, or 92 without Morale, which is way better than an 84. So then now, when you try trading for Marlon Humphrey, you're like 10 times closer. Now all you need to add is maybe a 2nd round pick. Maybe you do this with someone else, but that's all you have to do. The reason why it's annoying is because then you're not going to have any real real running backs in the league. It's all going to be just these wide receivers taking place. But it can be annoying for people, but it can also help you. The reason why this works is because there's 3 types of running backs. There's the first one, which is exclusive back. Then there's power back. And then there's receiving back. So this makes them a receiving back, which means that they catch the ball, which is what wide receivers do. My last tip for you guys is that Jamal Adams. He is a great, strong safety. He is a superstar, but his stats are amazing. 91 speed, 90 acceleration, which is decent, but 95 hit power. If you were playing on a league that is not arcade, because arcade, everyone will fumble. But if it is simulation or competitive, and you hit stick with Jamal Adams, it's going to look like it's arcade. He makes them always fumble. So I would highly suggest you have Jamal Adams. Anyway, just thank you for watching the video and have a great day.